For you to run a successful info or coaching offer in 2026, you need to have a strong personal brand. But to build a strong personal brand, you need to have strong content. I've had countless conversations with my clients, prospects, and even just people in my circle, and it all reverts back to the same problem. What do I post? Well, in today's video, I'm not going to solve that problem for you, but I'm going to make it significantly easier for you to understand and know what content to create to actually drive your personal brand forward and inevitably drive your business forwards. But today I'm not doing this alone. Today I'm giving you guys access. I'm giving you guys access to the mastermind behind our personal brand. Everything that you see of me online comes through this person, my head of content, my creative director, my friend, and honestly, one of the best guys that I know. You're gonna get 6 different methods on how to ideate your content, and at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you a bonus. I'm gonna give you something completely free that's gonna help fast track you creating amazing content and growing your personal brand. But you have to stick around to the end to get it. Let's jump straight in. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Goss.
Yes, Chris. So guys, today we're doing this video because we've had our clients come to us and also people in the DMs say that they're struggling to ideate for their content. So I've put this keynote together and me and Chris have decided to present this to you guys for a YouTube video.
Also guys, just a quick one. If you like this type of interaction, this is a completely different long form format and I haven't really seen anybody else run it like this. If you do actually like this, just make sure to drop it in the comments and let us know. But yeah, let's jump straight in, Goss.
So guys, there's 6 methods to help you ideate endlessly. You can get an unlimited amount of content from these methods. There's also going to be a bonus method at the end, so let's just jump straight in. So first, research the market. Most people get this wrong straight away. They think they know who their competitors are, but they're actually looking at the wrong people. Because if they're not targeting the same audience as you, they're not really your competitor. We've had clients come to us with their competitors, but when I've gone on research these competitors for them, they've given me ones that aren't actually targeting the exact same ICP. So really they're not direct competitors to them. But here's a few ways you can find the right ones. One way I've been doing recently is by using Claude. If you give Claude details about who you're trying to target, it will bring a list of people up. Some of them aren't great. Some of them you'll find are targeting the exact same ICP as you. So Claude is a great way for this. Or if you've already got someone in mind that's a direct competitor, if you go on who they're following, you'll definitely find someone there that targets the same ICP as you. And this, of course, is really important because if you're studying the wrong people and you're analyzing the wrong people, you're not going to know what's going on in your market. And at the end of the day, you need to know what your competitors are doing.
Yeah, I also want to add to that as well. Guys, the competitors in your niche aren't the people necessarily that you aspire to be like. People that you're competing with for the same market share aren't the guys at the top. An example that I'll give, one of my competitors isn't Alex Hormozi. As much as I can research Alex Hormozi's content, take inspiration from it, he's not necessarily targeting his content towards the same people that I'm trying to sell to. Your competitors and the people that you actually look up to are 2 different people. So understanding what that actually is super, super important when researching the market.
Yeah, bang on, Chris. So it's not like you can't take ideation from other people that you look up to in your market, but just because they're leaders in your space, they might target a different ICP to you. For example, we have a few clients that target 9-to-5ers and they give examples of their competitors, and it's guys that target those that are already making 10 to 50K doing their thing. So then step 2 is modeling the structure. We're modeling the framework, not copying them.
Yeah, so the perfect example here is Nick, right? Everybody knows Nick for his Miro boards, and Nick is ultra successful and he's somebody in a similar niche to us. We've seen the formats working, we can see the problems that he's addressing in there, and we can see why it's stopping somebody's scroll. It's a big Miro board, his shot looks clean, and he's about to drop source. So what did we then go and do? So we remixed the idea. Instead of just doing a Miro board, what we did is we tapped into the freeform where we can write and we can still have a similar concept, a similar format, still addressing similar problems, but we made it our own. We remixed the idea. But it's not just a format that we're remixing. We can see here like an idea, right? Or the original being 3 habits that make you rich. But then we also have more specifically a remixed version of that idea 3 habits that keep coaches stuck under 10K. And off the basis of this, I mean, we've already had some people in the space copying the exact same format that we're doing, so we know that it's doing well. Same structure, but a slightly different angle and a slightly different message.
Yeah, cool. So that's method 1. And the second method is rephrasing content. This is probably one that people underuse. Something I tell a lot of people and a lot of our clients is you don't need new ideas. You don't need brand new ideas all the time. You just need to say the same idea in a different way. So for example, why most coaches struggle to get clients, that can become why your content isn't converting, why no one's messaging you, why you're not getting inbound leads. Same idea, but different angles. And this is where people get stuck with this one. They're scared to post something similar. They think, oh, I've already said that before. But if something's worked for you and it's one of your best performers, why would you not do it again? If anything, your followers and your audience need to hear it more than once for it to actually land.
Yeah, also as well, guys, not even just specifically the message, but if a format's worked once or if something's gone viral once, it will go viral again. Some of the biggest creators in the world test multiple different formats. One lands for them, and then they rinse and repeat that same format. There is no issue with using the same core concept and repeating it over and over again. If anything, I would advise you to do that. When you find that one that works, go again and again and again. And there's countless pieces of content that can come out one idea.
So realistically, guys, one idea should be able to create at least 4 pieces of content.
Facts.
So the third method is reframing content. Some people get confused with rephrasing with this. Rephrasing is changing the words and reframing is changing the angle. So rephrasing is why your content isn't converting into maybe why you're not getting leads. Same idea, just said differently, but reframing is different. Reframing is taking the same concept but approaching it from a completely different direction. So for example, how to get rich could become top 10 ways to get rich. Same core idea but different angles. This can be powerful because different people might resonate with different angles. One person might resonate more with you saying how to get rich, and then someone else might resonate more with why you're staying broke. So again, instead of needing new ideas, just take one idea and look at it from different perspectives.
So guys, we can see in the bottom right corner here, there's 2 different examples. Both reels talk about upping prices. The core concept is upping the price. On the left side, it's a video breaking down our client Alex, who increased his prices, and within the first literal 2 weeks of working with us, 10x'd his business, purely because we solved the pricing problem he had. But on the right side, it's a client that's struggling and competing on price with everybody, struggling to be an authority figure and position himself as an authority figure in the space. The concept is upping the price, but the angle is different.
Yeah, and guys, we've used this method so many times for our content ideation. Moving on to the next method, which is execution and formatting. And this is where a lot of people get this wrong. They think the idea is the problem when actually it's actually how they're presenting it. We've read so many videos with a similar message, but then one's done better than the other, all because of the format. You'll hear people say that your hook wasn't strong enough and that's why your video didn't perform. That might be the case, but it actually might also be the format that you've used. The format is just how the idea is packaged, and here's some examples of the different formats that are doing well at the moment and we've seen some good engagement from.
Yeah, I also want to add to that as well. These are formats that 6 months ago probably didn't perform as well as they do now, and in 6 months time they're not going to perform as well as they're doing now. So it's super important that you guys are staying up to date. I'm not telling you guys to go and binge IG, but it's super important that you know that, for an example, ranking videos at this moment in time are working really, really well. But in 6 months time, they're probably going to be washed and there's going to be a new style format which is working really, really well. But these are just examples that we've used recently that are working well for us, that are working well for our clients, that you can rip to.
Yeah, exactly. Trends within your niche and Instagram as a whole are always changing, so obviously you've got to be aware of that. So moving on to the next method, which is using your own experience. This one's probably the most underrated. Ask yourself this: what problems have I solved to get to where I am today? Every answer to that should be a piece of content. Getting your first client, learning sales, whatever it is, all of that is content. And the reason this method is so good is because everyone says the same things now, same advice, same content, same messaging, but there's of course something no one else can copy, and it's this. Because the way I got my first client might be different to the way Chris got his first client. The way you solved problems might be different to the way I solve problems, and that's what actually makes your content stand out.
And guys, I also want to add to this as well. Every time that we onboard a client, we ask them, what was it that made you want to work with us? And it's these types of videos that they refer to, because it's these types of videos that they relate to. What's beautiful about the line of business that we're in is that we attract people like us based on the content that we put out. So if you're putting out content that sounds like everybody else, you're probably going to get pretty mediocre clients, or you're not going to get any at all. But if you talk about that first time you made 10K and it resonates with someone on the receiving end, position yourself as someone that's now pushing towards 50K, 60K, 100K, but they resonated with the first 10K that you made, that's going to build that personal connection, which is going to make selling so much fucking easier, and then also fulfillment so much more enjoyable, because you're just going to attract people to work with you that are like you.
So the last method is turning problems into content. This is probably one of the most important ones. What you should be doing is listing out all the pains that your ITP is going through right now, and then creating content that solves their problems. So things like struggling to come up with content ideas, the reason we're filming this today, posting consistently but not growing, getting views but no clients. Each one of those is a piece of content, but where people get this wrong is they guess what pains their ITP is going through. They assume they know what their audience is struggling with instead of actually knowing and researching. The only reason we made this video today, as I said before, is because clients told us they were struggling with this problem, and also prospects in the DMs told us the same. We've been getting the same message from people. We're struggling to ideate. So if you want to do this properly, this method, here's where you can get that information from. DMs, what are prospects saying in the DMs? Sales calls, what are prospects and potentially clients saying in the sales calls? What are they struggling with? What are current clients saying? What were they struggling with before they joined you? What are they still struggling with now? And then also Reddit, Claude and comment sections are also useful ways to research.
I want to add to this as well. The first 3 places are super, super, super important. DMs, sales calls, and clients. The people that are already interacting with your thing are the people that you need to pull the most information out of, the most data out of. A lot of the content we create comes from the objections that we're being faced on the DMs, on the sales calls, and even the clients, what they're struggling with. So if you have a setter or if you have a closer, it's super important that you're getting feedback and data from them. What are the objections that you're facing and how can I solve them in my content? And with your clients, what are the most common problems that when they come into the program or during the program that they keep facing? How can you handle that objection or solve that problem through your content? It's super important, guys. The analogy I use with this is imagine getting into a boxing ring and trying to fight somebody with a blindfold on. You don't even know what you're swinging at. You're just swinging and hoping. And I've seen so many people do this with their content, and then they come to us confused as to why they're not converting. It's because you're not hitting the punch. You don't even know where you're punching. So this is super, super important, and it's super valuable, guys.
Okay, so once you understand your audience's problems, the next step is turning those problems into your hooks, because your hook is what will make someone stop scrolling. So instead of guessing what to say, you just take the exact problem they're dealing with and say it directly. So if they're struggling to get leads, then say, this is why you're not getting inbound leads. So then when the right person sees that, the person that's struggling with that issue, they instantly think, yeah, this video is for me. What's this guy going to solve for me?
I'd also like to add to this as well. We can use the pain in the hook, but I know you guys have been there and I've been there too, where you're having a pretty shitty day, you open your phone and someone says, this is why you're not doing, and you just think, next, I'm not in the mood for this. So we can use the negative as the hook, but you can also get creative and use the positive as a hook. An example, why your content gets views but no clients. So somebody that's watching this that gets a bunch of views but can't close any clients is going to be like, fuck, that's me. They might engage with that, but also based on the personality type, they might not engage and think, no, let me get away from that. The way you can use the positive hook is you don't need a bunch of views to get clients. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. It's just an example of reframing that pain and using it in a positive light as opposed to just using it in a negative. So I'd imagine a bunch of you guys have already tried the negative. I'd recommend going and trying the positive and see if you get a better reaction, especially in that first 3 seconds on your skip rate.
Yep, agreed. So step 3 is delivering the solution. And this is where most people get it wrong. They talk about the problem, then they don't fully solve the issue. Your content shouldn't just highlight the issue, it should bring and give a clear way to fix it. And more importantly, it needs to be your solution. Not something you've copied, not something you've seen someone else say. What was it you did to solve the problem? Because again, that's what makes you different, and that's what might make someone choose you instead of someone else in the market. And it's so important that when someone watches your content, they shouldn't leave confused, or you shouldn't leave them with more things to go and find out. You should solve the problem there and then on the reel, because if you don't, they might just go watch someone else who explains it better and they might buy from them.
Goss, I do want to throw a spanner into the work here though. Something that we do quite a lot actually. We can give them some homework, but if we also provide them with the homework, they're not going to go to somebody else. So an example I'll use for this, right, is like, here's my content strategy, and I give 2 out of 4, let's say, factors. If you want to see the rest, so we create that curiosity and we can drive people into the comments, into the DMs, and we can then give them their homework, whether that's a long form YouTube video, an SOP, a document, a low ticket product, whatever that may be. We can still provide them with the solution as well as the homework, but just not giving them a chance to go somewhere else. We have the solution. You know, you just have to comment this and I'll send it you.
Yeah, there is also that too. Of course, for someone to buy from you guys, they need to watch a lot of your content. So doing what Chris just said and directing them to one of your YouTube videos is really important, because they're not going to buy from you after watching a few minutes of you on Instagram. So guys, the rule here is simple. What problem is my audience facing, and what unique solution can I share that helps them solve that problem? So guys, we do also have the bonus method that we spoke about, and this method is niche bending formats. This is where you take a format that's performing well in another niche and then adapt it for you and your own audience.
This is super important, guys. Instead of trying to invent new formats, we can literally go and look at formats that have already performed, that are already working in another niche, and just bring them across to ours. If something in the cooking niche has got 5 million views, can you take that format and just apply it to yours? It's one of the fastest ways that you guys can create viral content, even in your saturated market. And what's beautiful about niche bending content is that you can bring it across to your niche first. So you can actually be a market leader in that format and start to become recognized for that format. Now, we haven't given you steps for this one, but we are going to give you something. At the start of this video, I told you guys I was going to give you a gift. So all you have to do to get the gift is hit the first link in the description, which will take you to my Instagram. Go to the DMs and DM me the word niche, and we're going to send you something across. Goss, what are we going to send them across?
So what we've got for you guys is 3 different videos from 3 different niches. They're 3 completely different formats. We've got the transcript for each one. We've also got a prompt that you can use in either ChatGPT or Claude. Then whichever one you use, Claude or ChatGPT, will ask you some questions in return. And then when you answer those questions, it will give you video ideation based on those specific formats.
So not only have we given you 6 methods, we've given you a bonus method, and also in this video, we've given you literally a fast track to create infinite pieces of content that are already proven to go viral in other niches. All you guys have to do is head to that first link in the description, DM me the word niche, and we'll send that straight across to you guys so you can start creating viral content and you can start pushing your personal brands. Goss, mi hermano, thank you so much for your time, brother. Hopefully this is your first reveal, right, to the audience. Goss is normally behind the scenes, but I think it's super important that we start involving him because he does a lot of work inside of the program with clients, and we want to shed some light on his expertise. And also as well, look at him, he's super handsome, bless him, great genetics.
Don't make me blush, Chris.
Well, yeah, guys, you already know the score. If you like this video, make sure to like. If you like this format, if you like this concept, if you go and create one of these videos and it works, let us know in the comments. Me and the team are documenting our way to 100K months and dropping sauce along the way. And if that sounds like something you'd like to be a part of, just make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the journey. See you boys at the fucking top.